Joining us now, the reporters responsible for the shocking photos taken of the immigrant children warehoused in the United States. Sylvia Longmire, a Breitbart, Texas contributing editor, also the author of the book, Border Insecurity. And Brandon Darby, Breitbart, Texas managing editor. Thank you both for being with us. Sylvia, let me turn to the issue of these photos, the pictures. Why aren't they being seen by millions of Americans in all forms of media in this country?
Well, I think fortunately with Breitbart Texas putting these photos on display, at least we're taking a step in the right direction. It's embarrassing. It's absolute embarrassment to our government that we have not better prepared, that we have not seen this coming and given an adequate response to prepare for this humanitarian crisis, to make sure that they don't come in the first place, that we understand what the country conditions are and establish solid border security strategies to prevent this from happening in the first place. And also not to have a reactive strategy or an emergency strategy in place for dealing with this influx of people, to attend to their medical needs and make sure that they're not just overwhelmed in these stations for Border Patrol and that they're not all cramped together like sardines and having to get shipped out.
Now. They're clearly overwhelmed
Absolutely.
now. These pictures weren't taken, as I understand it, Brandon, by a photojournalist. These pictures were released by someone who's in law enforcement along the border.
Yes, sir. Someone I would call a whistleblower from within the Border Patrol, U.S. Border Patrol, sent me those images and verified that they were authentic, and wanted to get the word out about not only the conditions that people within the facilities were enduring, but also how overwhelmed the Border Patrol is, the men and women of the Border Patrol who are out there now, not on the border, but many of them inside of these facilities. Right. Just leaving the border wide open, really, in some places.
Yeah, as I understand it right now from Immigration Custom Enforcement, I understand from the Customs and Border Patrol agents, they've been actually pulled back and are being held back from aggressively enforcing our immigration laws and aggressively enforcing border security. Sylvia, what do you know?
As far as being pulled back, I'm not entirely sure if that's completely accurate, but I know there's been so much controversy, particularly the controversy over border shootings, and now we've had a revision over the policy of how agents are to respond in any kind of armed confrontation and confrontations with smugglers who are driving in vehicles. And I think that really, even though there are some concerns about how certain agents are handling those situations, but then we also have a worry, are agents going to just kind of sit there and overthink every situation? Are they going to just not react properly the way that a law enforcement officer should, and possibly endanger themselves even more than necessary because of this excess scrutiny?
Wait a minute, Sylvia. I've realized I've got to stop. You basically are asking the question: can we protect our Border Patrol agents from their own incompetent selves? I mean, do you mean to be saying that? Yeah, and if you do, that's fine. I just want to understand, and I want you to understand what you're saying. Because I don't in any way regard the Border Patrol as a bunch of hapless agents, law enforcement agents.
Lou,
quite the reverse.
Lou, at Breitbart, we've been a consistent voice of defense for the men and women of the Border Patrol. But oftentimes, just like the Border Patrol Union, the National Border Patrol Council has reported to us multiple times, there is a huge division right now between the political appointed leadership in the Border Patrol, that would be the people appointed by Obama or his appointees, and the actual men and women serving on the ground out there in the field wearing the boots. Not the shiny shoes, but the people in the boots. So oftentimes what's happening right now is the Border Patrol Council has reported to us, and we've covered this on Breitbart Texas extensively, that they are oftentimes
If you guys say Breitbart Texas one more time, I'm going to have to start keeping count. Look, we'll promote you. We're delighted to do that, folks.
Well,
but
thank you.
I would like you to just give me a sense of something, because I have spent, as
here's what's going on,
a lot of time on that border, and our audience is very sophisticated. They're concerned about our Border Patrol, those agents, and those conditions for those children, and why they're there. Sylvia, do you know why those children are there in those conditions?
Absolutely. I mean, first of all, their parents are afraid for them. They want to provide better educational opportunities for them, better job opportunities, and a better life. In places like Honduras, you have the gangs that are recruiting children as young as 7, 8, and 9 years old.
Are you talking about
stories abound of
MS-13?
children.
Are you talking about MS-13?
That's in El Salvador, but in some cases MS-13,
no, it's actually
MS-18.
throughout Central America and permeating our society now in 250 cities in this country, Sylvia.
Right. And you have a situation where these children, their families are being threatened with death if they do not go and join the gangs, and their parents. I mean, think about it. If that was happening to our children here in the United States in a certain city, and your child or your family was going to be killed by a gang if your child didn't go and join, I mean, a 9-year-old child.
What I ask you is, how did those children get to our border? So how does one get from...
Right.
I'm sorry? How did those children get to our border?
With the help of a coyote.
And the coyotes are managed and run by whom?
By the drug cartels.
Yes. That was the question I kind of wanted to get to, because I think each of us, our hearts goes out to all of the children throughout the hemisphere, throughout the world. Brandon, your thoughts as we wrap up here. What are we looking at here? Is this an orchestrated, organized effort to overwhelm our Border Patrol, our borders themselves?
I do believe it is. Yes, sir. I do believe it is. I believe that people are exploiting this. Some people, as Sylvia pointed out, are doing it from a position of need. And I think a lot of people, considering that cartels are the ones who traffic these children, I think they're doing it to overwhelm the Border Patrol so that they can continue their shipments in the United States and across the United States.
We appreciate you being with us and appreciate you documenting the hardship and, frankly, the jeopardy these children are in, and the assault on our borders by forces that have an interesting agenda, and certainly not an agenda that is sensible either for these children or for this country. Brendan Darby, Sylvia Longmire, we thank you both. Time now for a look at our